G'day! In today's video I'm going to be doing a screen chassis replacement on a Note 10 Plus. So this one is going from a, I'm not even sure what colour this one is. It's probably Samsung's version of black. We're going from this to a silver frame. Why is that? Purely parts availability. Get into this one to begin with, would be nice. So I've just sprayed isopropyl onto here, onto my pry tool. And that is helping me cut through the adhesive. There we go. Cut, 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 cut. Yeah, I do have to be careful on these huge teardrops that are going on. I think the term they use is waterfall. It's a very dramatic curve, which pushing too far into that may break the back cover, which is definitely something we'd like to avoid. Go. So also what I've got going on is a fair bit of heat. A bit less than normal. I've got 60 degrees on my blue heat pad. Normally I've got it at around 75 degrees Celsius. Go. So right now I'm just trying to use a bit of force on it to open it up. I still feel like it is stuck in a few other key locations. So I'll go back to keep using the isopropyl. Separating this down here, last bit of adhesive. Now I should just be able to keep folding this slowly and carefully. There we go. Now that did have me worried just for a second there. I was looking here. There is a slight curvature in the back, but that is a cutout for the buttons over here. So that's fine. One cover off. Next up, pen out. After that, you want to eject the SIM tray as well. You want to take that out of the equation. Go. Now it's a matter of going through the Phillips head screws to begin with. Just turning my heat up to 75 degrees Celsius, as that will help some of this leave. So the screws themselves don't fully want to leave as I unscrew them, which I'm fine with that. That is okay. I'm going to go past with my tweezers and pick them out after this. Now also I am using a screw holder right here, but so far I don't believe that's necessary. Experience with Samsungs in the past, usually they all use the same Phillips head screws. So that shouldn't be too much of a concern. lift this up. Disconnect, and then we're free to remove. Now from here, grab the tweezers. And this should come up. Bingo, there we go. Disconnect the where will we start? One. Just trying to find the battery. That'll make sense for this one here to be the battery. There we go. So now with the majority of that disconnected, and the S pen over here, move that into a bit better point of view for you guys. Now I'm not seeing any parts screwed onto the main board or through the main board, so I should be able to lift that out, I would suspect. Yep. Might have to take the camera out first. There we go. And the camera module does look like it's removable. So next up, with the main board removed, we'll work our way excuse me. Work our way down the the phone. I'm thinking graphics cards. With the launch of the 3070, 3080, 3090 the other night, and the PC world going crazy. So yeah, as I said before, all the screws here are identical in length, so no need for concern there. And we're in. So here I'm going to disconnect these other flex cables and move them out of the way. Just using my nail, flicking it under it. Up. There we go. Let's compare with what we actually need to move. So to begin with, I'll start with the charging board down the bottom down here. Unscrew. Should be able to lift this up with a pair of tweezers. There we go. Up and in. Also, I find that if you're taking it apart now, pretty much now's a good time to clean that charging port. This one's not overly dirty. A pair of very fine tweezers. An old toothbrush. And I'll move that over to here. Should work its way in. Yep. I'm just going to put it back over the rings. 1, 2, 3. One, two, 3. That's good. Next up, what I want to remove is the battery. Typically what I do here, spray a bit of isopropyl on there, let it dribble down into the battery, and that should soften the adhesive. Switch it over to my battery pry tool and see if I can get this to leave. There we go. Excellent. So I'll put the battery away. I'm just going to compare the two over here. It's pretty much, I don't believe anything else needs to be moved over. It's merely removing the gasket on this side here, and I should be able to get into it. I'll move that one out of the way. Now I'm going to turn off my heat pad so I stop burning my fingertips, and reverse what I just did. So first of all, get some adhesive for the battery to go back in with. Don't really need much considering everything's going to compress around it and hold it into place. So that shouldn't be too much of a concern. Now I am putting the adhesive over here, just so if I do spray alcohol in the future, I don't need to go anywhere near here. One, 2. I did squish the battery just slightly, but if I run my finger over it, I can remold it. Put that in. Next up, I'll put the bottom cover back over. Make sure there's no screws get stuck on here in the magnet. Otherwise you'll have a very sad day when you go to push it back in, as it will damage the back of the the OLED display. Now this one, I don't quite have it sitting right. I'm going to start in that corner first. There we go, got it. 2, 3, 4, and finally 5. So next up from here, looking at the upper half of the phone, where I'll be taking out this little bit of adhesive. Not sure what it's actually covering, but anyway, that's out. And we will now drop this back in. Make sure the various connectors are out of the way, all 4 of them. There we go. Now I did leave this in. Luckily there's a little pull tab there. There we go. Put that camera back in. Whoop. Connect up the connector, and we're good. So with the other connectors here, I'll make a start on those. And one thing I've just realised is I've left the flex connectors off the main board to the daughter board. So those 5 screws I just put in, if you followed me exactly, you're going to have to take them back out again, sorry. Connect, connect, connect. I'm leaving the battery disconnected. I've gotten too used to the Samsung Galaxies where they have everything integrated into the main board itself, and it's just kind of a C shape. Where this one is using just the slightly different technology of having the daughter board and the main board. We'll have that sorted out in a second. They're connected. These just push on, you just kind of wiggle them around a little bit so they're aligned. And when you're happy if they're in that correct position, you give them a bit of a push. They should snap into position. And by snap, I mean by the noise. Alright. I do find that the Note 10 Plus did have a fair bit of prestige to it, which the Note series I think has been tarnished by the S20 or the Note 20 series. Being that used to be that if you bought the Note, you were buying the top of the line Samsung. There was one model of it, or in this instance there was two models of it with the Note 10. But now they've just gone, I reckon, silly with it, and just they keep splitting up or keep making more and more markets. I wish they'd have done a very similar thing to Apple and just release 2 or 3 different models a year. Leave it at that. Keep it simple. Instead, it's just a very oversaturated market. By most companies, actually, now that I think of it. There we go. So from here, we should be right to connect the battery back up. Looking over here, there's still one thing disconnected. And that would be this here. Fold that down. Connect it up. So with this all connected up, from here you want to install your plastic shield. You can push down and then put in the remainder of the screws. Now, granted, what I'd purchased in this video was the Samsung Galaxy Note 10 service pack, or Note 10 Plus service pack. Depending on where you purchase your display from, it may be missing various speakers and such, but this one wasn't. So just note that that may be the case with yours, depending on where you purchase it from. However, in this video I didn't have to swap over the vibrating motor. That's one screw that doesn't want to go in. I didn't have to swap over the earpiece speaker. There's a whole bunch of little things that you may need to swap over. So have a look at the tray. All screws are now installed. Got now one reassembled Note 7 Plus. This little daggy bit just kind of sticks down here. Hold it out of the way. Usually from here, I would heat up the back cover. Do note that there is a cutout just along here. Usually heat this up a little bit and that gets it nice and tacky to stick it back on. But it's still going to have a fair bit of tack, so I'm just going to squeeze it on layer like so. Biggest noticeable difference will be the SIM tray, the biggest noticeable thing to the customer. But from there you should have one brand new screen on a Samsung Galaxy Note 10 Plus. Hope this video helps you, and I'll see you later. Bye.